We are the SPARCC Federal Policy Team, and it has been our honor to work with members of the national and local SPARCC family during a year that has brought trauma and injustice, but also moments of victory and joy, to create this call to action for equitable community development. We are at a critical point in American history.
With clarity and conviction, SPARCC partners put forward this policy platform to emphatically state that not only do we all deserve better, we demand better. We believe in our collective power to push us forward and realize a racially just, restorative future for our communities, for our economy, and for our planet.
We organized this platform to center race and elevate intersectional policies that advance health equity and climate justice, to focus on the immediate needs of people and communities to elevate local ideas for an equitable and just recovery, to achieve greater local control and community ownership through policies that are implementable and actionable across the collective SPARCC communities and across various local, state, and national levels.
Our vision is a future where the lives, leadership, dreams, and brilliance of Black, Brown, Indigenous, and all people of color are supported and enhanced by an economic system that is democratic, just, and adaptive. Here in the Bay Area, with Bay Area for All, we know how important that is, and we understand land as being at the center of our economy. So we're working to build this economic system in part by supporting models like community land trusts and cooperatives, which expand access to land and ownership and help us own and steward land collectively.
One thing has become clear this year: entrepreneurs of color are essential to the fabric of our community, and real efforts must be made to ensure they can adapt to the future. Whether it's an international pandemic or the closer to home effects of climate change and displacement, Mile High Connect's partner efforts have included providing direct cash assistance, mobilizing business owners, and advocating for city action to drive local investment towards our community businesses.
For the housing system, our vision is a housing system that is community-centered, environmentally sustainable, and healthy, where everyone has safe, accessible, and affordable homes. This is important to me because I understand the importance of wealth building through home ownership and the ability of passing on that wealth to the next generation. As I sit here on my grandfather's front porch, which is now my home here in Southwest Atlanta, where he was the first Black man to move onto this street in 1960s in an area that experienced white flight in the 60s, where a lot of African Americans were able to move into the city.
We believe that housing is a human right. Our vision is communities that are not housing burdened. A couple of years ago, Center for Transforming Communities partnered with residents in this neighborhood to start a community land trust. Now, the land trust model is all about turning mindsets from owning land for profit to stewarding land for preserving the culture and the history of this neighborhood. Right now, I'm standing at the Hampton Community Land Trust House. We pride ourselves in the fact that this home is going to remain affordable for generations to come. Center for Transforming Communities has also partnered with other city organizations to start a land trust alliance. Through our alliance, I will establish this model to other Memphis neighborhoods that would like to have one.
Our ETAD vision is about building homes, community centers, retail spaces, and health clinics next to train stations and high-frequency bus routes. But current federal, state, and local policies are not supportive of this. Communities of color who need these resources fast and first often receive them late and at a slow pace. Rarely are they in the driver's seat to decide how best to deploy resources in their communities. We need the federal government to make equitable transit-oriented development the norm rather than the exception, and to role model rules and behaviors for states and municipalities.
Engaging community is critical when you talk about the work of economic development. Many times these organizations and the the entrepreneurs of these communities. There's a wealth of ideas, but the capital doesn't match the ideas. The SPARCC capital that we've been able to utilize, one of the things it's allowed us to do, not very dissimilar to the vaccine trials that we've been seeing, is, different organizations have different ways, different things that they want to try, that they think will be the solution to some of the things that's ailing the communities. And so they try it their way. And then there's another group that's also trying it their way. All the while we're reporting back and reporting to each other the impact that our particular trials are having, and then the ability to see if we can match those things up, take the best of what worked in trial 1 and the best of what worked in trial 2.
Health equity is the issue of our day, and so all of the work to ensure people are safe during COVID-19, to find strategies to provide all the protections we can for essential workers, and for support for people who have lost income during COVID-19, now is the moment. And it's not a singular moment, and I think we all know that. Health disparities have existed before and are exacerbated during COVID-19. And so we have a lot to do to create the basket of health that works to keep everybody healthy. The set of things we need in neighborhoods and communities to be healthy and safe. And that includes access to living wage jobs, healthy and affordable housing, and early childhood experiences that set all of our young people up for success.
For us, parks are more than just a patch of green. They are the heart of our community. It's where our seniors gather to learn about neighborhood gossip, children learn to ride their first bike, and where our social movements are built. They can provide jobs for people who are struggling with employment barriers and address our climate crisis. They are a critical part of our public infrastructure.
Our vision is that green space preservation and restoration is no longer just a conservation issue. It is now social and cultural. This is important to us in Atlanta because, one, while it's important to acknowledge and address historical inequities, we know that communities have continued to maintain access to their open lands, parks, and the surrounding green infrastructure. Two, 87% of flood impacts occur in communities of color. So there is an opportunity to adapt existing infrastructure for parks and open spaces, and as part of addressing our climate and justice goals. And three, what if we vision parks, natural areas, and open spaces for including all who have the rights to a place? This would speak to the importance of human sovereignty and not just the extraction of natural resources. We need to see not only each other as fully human, but we also need to understand how we connect to nature and the importance of those connections.
We join the many others before us who share this vision and invite you to join us in elevating community voice.